My name is Kathleen Erickson, and I'm a Sister of Mercy, and I would like to say first what I intended to say last. After listening to Dan, I just want to say that what we need to do, what we must do in this country, is slow ourselves down enough to really reflect on who we are as a people, especially as people who consider ourselves people who care about others, and then apply that with all the rhetoric with our politics. I happen to be invited to be the temporary chaplain at the South Texas Family Residential Center in Dilley, Texas, a little over a year ago. That was managed by CCA. What I found there was the facade of compassionate care for mothers and children. There were soccer fields, there was playground equipment, there was a dining room and education facilities and healthcare facilities. It looked like, oh, this is a great place. But to sit beside a mom who's watching her little boy kick a soccer ball around and listen to her pour out her story, seeing her husband killed in front of her, you know that this is just the facade of compassionate care. To watch a 10-year-old patting her mom on the shoulder as her mom is sobbing uncontrollably and talking about some of what Dan just mentioned, what they had gone through on their trip up, or a 5-year-old's eyes riveted on you as she listens to her mom talking about being pushed into one of those rooms that are freezing cold and very crowded, and given food that is tossed to them and being made fun of, and wondering what is happening to that 5-year-old, having been through that, and then having that be part of her story. Many of the staff at the Dilley Correctional Facility do not speak Spanish. They are a lot of people of goodwill, but they cannot really meet the needs of those mothers and their children there. And the mothers, I wish every mother in America could just think for a minute what it would be like to be in a housing unit with 12 bunk beds and however many children you had, say a toddler and a 9-year-old, with other women and their children, and held there by not guards. Remember, this is a facade, there aren't guards. There are guys in maroon polo shirts and slacks who come and check on your well-being every 15 to 30 minutes, around the clock, including in the nighttime, coming in with flashlights. Mothers need to think, we shouldn't be doing this. Everybody needs to think we shouldn't be doing this. And when I was there, there was a groundswell, what I hoped was a groundswell of public opinion against our doing that. Catholic bishops had just been there for a tour when I got there, and I thought, great. Groups from different churches, Episcopalians, Catholics, Methodists, all kinds of people were coming and touring the place and seeing this place where the women and children were being held. There was an interfaith service outside while I was there, and the women could see it on the TV in their room, because they had TVs in their housing units, and they could see that it was on there. At Telemundo they watched. But a week later there were almost, I think it was more than 500 people, 500 or 600 people out in protest on the road. And so I thought, this is what we need. The nation is waking up. We're learning this is happening, and we are not going to let it continue. It is 15 months later since I was there. And to hear Dan describe what he saw a month ago is heartbreaking. We need to look at this gathering today as an invitation to reflect on what is being done in our name and to get as creative as we possibly can about how to speak out against it. We are going to give you some examples of things you might be able to do, such as sending postcards, calling our Nebraska delegation. I would say put on your schedule a phone call every week. At least one phone call every week. Send cards to people, but please do not go away and forget this. And we are here to ask that we reflect on who we are and stop what we're doing to women and children. Thank you so much for being here today.